All right, so last week we told you about Project Veritas and its undercover investigation into whether or not Twitter, I think I have 3.2 million followers, are targeting conservatives. Now, we played you the shocking undercover videos. One showed conversations with two Twitter engineers who explained the tech giant's ability to shadow ban users and how algorithms have been used to disproportionately target conservatives on Twitter accounts. Now, we haven't independently verified, but you get to decide yourself. Here's the video.
One strategy is to shadow ban so that you have ultimate control. The idea of a shadow ban is that you ban someone but they don't know they've been banned because they keep posting but no one sees their content.
Do a random tweet and like just look at the followers. Yeah. We'll all be like guns, God, America, like with the American flag, like the cross.
Yeah, no one really.
Like who says that? Who talks like that? It's for sure a God.
The majority of the algorithms are conservatives or liberals.
I would say the majority of it are for Republicans because they're all from Russia and they wanted Trump to win. So
you mostly just give it.
I knew that. Yeah.
Now, at the time, Twitter spokespeople told us, the Fox News channel and the Hannity show, the individuals depicted in the video were speaking in a personal capacity, do not represent or speak for Twitter. Now, the spokesperson went on to write that Twitter does not shadow ban users, but does in some cases limit tweet visibility. Sounds like shadow banning, based on the nature of the interaction and the quality of the content. Who decides? Also today, this is beyond shocking. Project Veritas, their most shocking footage showing huge potential privacy abuses at the company. This time, current and former Twitter engineers admitting that employees view everything that you post on your server, including direct messages you think are private, and create a, quote, virtual profile on you, which they sell to advertisers and brag about looking at, like pictures between you and your girlfriend or whatever. Once again, take a look at the footage. You decide.
So what happens is, like, when you write stuff, when you post pictures online, they never go away. Like, they're always on there. Because like even after you send them, people are like analyzing them, they're seeing what you're interested in, they're seeing what you're talking about, and they sell that data.
Wow. They sell it to who? Like advertisers?
Advertisers.
Wait, are you talking about just regular tweets or the DMs? Or both?
Everything. Anything you post online.
Wow. So even what you think is private, direct message.
Yeah.
They're analyzing it and selling that.
Hey, but so if I send someone a direct message, y'all are gonna look at it to analyze it?
A machine's gonna look at it, an algorithm will look at it.
Why?
And they'll make a virtual profile about you.
To actually charge advertisers for money, we have to prove it was you, and that's why using like an email address or like a cookie, something that can track you. That's more like it.
If you go to Twitter for the first time, we have information about you.
Okay.
Because like we actually bought a company because of this, like Ads Network. Yeah. When you visit, like, we serve ads for other companies in other people's sites.
Okay.
So when you go and see that ad, we get the information that you're this person seeing this ad at this moment, at this location, on this website.
Okay.
So we already have a lot of information about you.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah. Like,
I mean, what the wrong hands? How would you protect people from that?
You don't.
You don't?
There's no way.
It is creepy Big Brother. Like, I mean, it's like a level of, like, I don't want to say it freaks me out, but it disturbs me.
You have access to DMs at Twitter?
Oh, I do, yeah.
Okay. So when people have access to this stuff, they can leak it. It happens.
Oh, yeah. And it's a genie out of the bottle kind of thing after that point. Yeah. Sure, I could fire them. Heck, I could probably even sue them in some cases.
Oh, yeah.
But the genie's already out of the bottle.
All right, so we reached out to Twitter today for a comment on this new footage. In response, they gave us a link to their privacy policy posted on their website and said we could use the same statement they shared last week with us, that the individuals in the videos are speaking in a personal capacity and do not represent or speak for Twitter. All right, you see this book right here? He's the author of this brand new book, American Providence. This is an important book. My Fight for Truth in the Era of Fake News. James O'Keefe is with us. Let's start with the videos, then we'll get to the book. Okay, they're talking about shadow banning, yeah, and then, but it's worse. direct message, there's an expectation of privacy.
Yeah, Twitter bills itself as the public town square, and in today's video, they're actually talking about looking at your private, intimate messages between you and your girlfriend, your wife, and they're storing this on a database, and they're sharing these messages, they're laughing at them, they're bragging about ruining relationships with these messages.
Like you could bring it to divorce court.
That's what they say in the video. These engineers are on tape. I don't know how many people can speak in a personal capacity. It's become widespread now. It's unbelievable.
You would think they get fired for these things.
Well, now they've learned my MO, so they may be firing them quietly, but that's why it's so important, Sean, that you reach out to them for comment. And it's amazing because we've got 9 different engineers and executives on tape talking about shadow banning or censoring people so your friends can't see the messages. And now they say they have hundreds of engineers that go through private direct messages.
That's unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
And there is an expectation of privacy. You know, look, the media hates you. Fair statement?
I would say it's an understatement.
Okay, understatement. This is stuff Mike Wallace used to do and other media used to do, but it's expensive because you get sued a lot.
It's hard. It's difficult, Sean. Upton Sinclair, the Chicago Sun-Times, many of these muckraking journalists throughout the 20th century actually did this. They used to do it, and it's gone. There's this new movie out, The Post, Tom Hanks. I mean, they talk about.
And you try to release all the tape in terms of you selectively edit. Is that true?
Well, we certainly release most of the tape as much as we can without compromising our sources and methods. But the media releases no tape and asks us to believe anonymous quotes and single-sourced quotes.
Remind people how successful you've been with Acorn, going back to that. The first time I interviewed you, you were dressed as a pimp in a video. Yeah.
Well, we've shut down government organizations. We've gotten the CEO of NPR fired. We've gotten states that changed their voter ID laws. We've exposed border insecurity, congressional hearings, Medicaid workers fired. We've infiltrated CNN. We've infiltrated the Hillary campaign, and Trump mentioned.
And everyone made a big deal. The Washington Post caught you trying to infiltrate them.
Well, sometimes you get burned, Sean. That's a sign of success because undercover work, you use an alias to draw people out. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but people.
But that's the only thing to make a big deal out, not this. By the way, if you're a liberal, you should be angry at this tape.
You know, Sean, this book, American Pravda, George Orwell wrote in 1984, which was the year I was born, by the way, ironically enough.
All right, stop. You have to remind me. Go.
George Orwell writes that the people don't want you to believe your eyes and ears. That was the state's or the party's most essential command. We trust the American people, and there's a conflict of visions.
Pravda was the communist newspaper, the former Soviet Union.
It was the Russian word for truth, and Veritas is the Latin word for truth. But the difference between the Soviet Union's Pravda and the American media is people in the Soviet Union knew they're being lied to. In this country, people don't believe it is. And this story is a rollicking adventure story about a ragtag team of citizens.
You also give a lot of history.
Power.
And I will tell you that your success speaks for itself. And I look at it as a badge of honor that I'm hated so much, so I think you should too. I warned you in your first thing, don't look at social media. You reminded me in the book, I had said that to you, I'd forgotten. And also I said, make sure you dot your I's and cross your T's.
And we have a dozen lawyers now, and it's expensive.
American Pravda, this is a book you got to read. My Fight for the Truth in the Era of Fake News. There's a lot of fake news. Good to see you.
Thanks, Sean.
The great one. Thank me. God bless us. Mark Levin, you want to hear him next.